Hi guys. All right, so this is bonus general message part 2. If you didn't see part 1 yet, you'll definitely want to watch that first. The link is right there in the description box. You can hop over to part 1 and then come back here when you're done, because otherwise you won't know where we're at. Because part 2, we're going to look at what's happening. So we had a King of Swords who fell in love with this Queen of Cups. Where they stand right now is a bunch of burdens that have not been dealt with. We have a bunch of situations that, to have this much, I'm going to say, pain and difficulty, there's been, you notice how we have the mirror here also. I feel like someone hasn't had enough opportunity to really be faced with the mistakes that have been made here. Someone hasn't looked in the mirror and seen what kind of damage has been created. Now, it could also be that someone hasn't looked in the mirror to realize that, okay, that maybe I played a role in some of this heavy burden as well. But we'll tear that apart in just a second. First, let's remember from part 1 that our Queen of Wands, who this king knows that that's who they want to marry. I don't know why I want to say Queen of Wands. The Queen of Cups is the individual that they want to marry. So we saw that in part 1. We saw that they are absolutely positive. The King of Swords is completely positive that that's who they want to marry. They know that unequivocally. They are now done with a relationship that they had been in that was never a great match, although they were in it probably for quite some time with the Queen of Swords. That is over. They are single. They are now wanting to come racing forward after all this. They have looked at photos of this Queen of Cups all this time. They have known that she was a soulmate. There's this heavy reminiscing. They want to race toward her, but there's also some energy of like being stuck, maybe being tongue-tied is the best way I could describe this. Maybe it's like they're going to have to explain what took them so long. Meanwhile, that Queen of Cups had been in some kind of deep heartbreak, and it had something to do with I think life dealt her some pretty heavy blows, and perhaps this person did as well by not choosing her. Maybe we saw that they said they met her and they were crazy in love with her. They didn't want to be a King of Swords anymore. They wanted to be a King of Cups. They saw her as their wish fulfillment. We saw that with the Star card in part 1. So now, as they have completed and closed out a chapter and are leaving behind a chapter with their former partner, and we already explored all of that and what happens to that former partner in part 1. Now we're just looking at the mess that they've got to deal with, the unfinished business, the heavy burdens. I mean, I feel like this thing was left with, I don't know if it was ghosting. I don't know what this was. Let's go ahead and, I hate going down this road, but how ugly was it? What happened between them, the king and the queen that they say that they loved so much? Got a 2 of Wands in the reverse, and we actually have a Chariot. Hold on. I said what happened between them. So in the past, did they suddenly say, I know that I have to leave? 7 of Cups in the reverse. Right now, it's looking like they had absolute certainty that, they had clarity. They were calm and collected. They knew that they needed to move on. They were no longer confused. Okay, what does that mean? We saw that they had been confused when they got together with their original partner in the beginning. What happened in the past is they became very clear that they needed to go ahead and move forward, move their life forward. And I think use the power of what their heart wanted to motivate them to move forward. I feel like they were thrilled and delighted to have met someone who finally, their life makes sense to them, who they love, their emotions make sense to them. They seem like they were aloof with their previous partner. That's one of the reasons things didn't work. There wasn't really a love bond between that King of Swords and their King of or Queen of Swords partnership. That's why that kind of fell apart. Then they met this Queen of Cups, and they fell for her. They were awakened. They felt emotion. They had this kind of clarity that, oh my gosh, I've met someone who has changed the way I feel about like my place in this world, possibly even. It's like their heart woke up. They were no longer that aloof character that we saw in part one. So now I'm still talking about what happened between them and our Queen of Cups, because all we know is she got a heartbreak out of all of this, and they've been thinking about her nonstop. But it says that when they met her, they knew unequivocally, this is my person, but they may have stayed away from her. They may have said, now I know what I need to do. Now I have clarity. I'm no longer confused. Now I need to follow my heart, which could have meant I need to close out the cycle with the Queen of Swords, because I am now sure. I have, like, my heart has been flipped on. Okay. I now know who my Empress is. Now, this is ironic, right? Because in their mind, they meet this Queen of Cups and they say, I want to be married to her. I know she's my person. Now that I know this, I'm going to disappear on her. And finally, because I have the clarity of the fact that I need to be with her, that means I need to actually make it so I can be with her, because I don't want the situation I was previously in. I want to be able to make that Queen of Cups my Empress. But what's ironic is specifically the thing that broke that Queen of Cups heart is the fact that she was an Empress in the reverse, meaning they didn't choose her. To her mind, they didn't choose her. To their mind, I'm walking away from you in order to be able to choose you, which is, I always say this in my stories where I'm like, so why didn't you say all this? You know, like I always roll my eyes and I'm just like, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. Because it would be so easy to simply communicate, you know, hey, this is my situation, you know. Ooh, Tower and Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so they were going to have to uproot everything in their life. Everything. I don't know what bonds they had with that former partner, that Queen of Swords, but it was going to be like, we have to dissolve our business that we have together. We have to sell the house. We have to do everything. I may have to change my career. Maybe what they were invested in a business together or something like that. They had to do a ton of dismantling and then a ton of rebuilding in order to be able to offer to this person everything. Like, I want you to be my Empress. Well, guess what? Before I can tell you that I want you to be my Empress, I have to dismantle an entire previous life that I've been invested in, but it was never something that made me feel like I belonged there. So it's basically a story of like a King of Swords who had been living a life that was kind of like, there was a lot of structure, organization, and time being given to something, but it never even felt right for them, nor did it feel right for the Queen of Swords. And yet to dispel all of that, to break that up and to restructure their life so that they can be with the correct partner, the partner that they really feel something for, that they feel the emotion for, that says, you're the Empress that I want to be with. My heart is no longer aloof. That was going to require a lot of effort. So did the Queen of Cups know any of this? Let's change decks as we talk about her, because she's the one we kind of have left out, and they don't know much about her yet. Did she know anything about this? We have the Star, we have the Six of Cups in the reverse, and we have the Four of Swords in the reverse. For her, she says, all I know is I had to heal from the fact that they did go silent on me, and they aren't a soulmate. They disappeared on me. So I thought that they were my wish fulfillment, and instead I ended up having to heal from the silence and from the idea that this meant nothing. That's where she was left, that they were not a soulmate. This is over between us. They never told me why, and I just had to heal from that. Why would they have left her feeling that way? Hold up. Why on earth would someone have left it like that? Let's go with a deck that would help maybe give us a perspective here. Body. Parts do you need to look back at more closely? What's functioning and not functioning in areas of life? this is like talking about the body of their life. And again, we see this mirror. The way I would look at this is for them, and this is not a nice trait in them, okay? It's not. In my perception, they didn't want her to see them. They didn't like what was being reflected back when they looked in the mirror. I've been in a connection, maybe for many, many, many years, that hasn't even suited me. I've lived a life, I've built a business, I've built some kind of a connection that didn't suit me. And maybe in order to kind of cope with that, I've also, not even treated my Queen of Swords well, because I never really felt very bonded there. We didn't make each other happy. So they might have really come to loathe themselves for the choices that they made, the knowledge that maybe they weren't treating anybody very well, not themselves, not the partner that they previously had been committed to. And to dismantle that life was to not just dismantle a relationship, a previous connection that they had, but they would really have to restructure everything about who they were, what they were doing, the things that they don't like about themselves. And I don't think that they wanted that Queen of Cups, who they decided, I'm in love with her, she is the person I want as my Empress. They did not want her to see the ugly side of them, the side of them that they were not proud of. That's the best way to describe this. So that explains the looking in the mirror card that we had over here with all of the, to decide I don't want somebody to see me like this is still such a mess, because the alternative was to leave her out in the cold, make her feel abandoned. And the reason I said I don't like this behavior is because it was more about like, I don't like my own image in the mirror, so I don't want her to see what I don't like about me. So I'd rather go ahead and hurt her with ghosting, abandonment, until I can become the me that I want to be, and then I'll present myself to her. But this is why they have all these burdens. This is a very painful, and tons of hurt feelings have probably been accrued, at least on her side of things, because she doesn't know why they did all this. But I will say this, if they thought that not letting her see the life that they had been living because they weren't proud of it, if they thought it was better to ghost her and let her have a really painful experience plus develop a very poor opinion of them, I think they probably didn't gain anything by choosing that option. Like, oh, I'm going to ghost because I don't want her to see the real me when I'm a mess. On the other hand, that ghosting planted an idea in her head of who she thinks they are now. There's a whole lot of a mess to be dealt with here. A whole lot of hurt feelings. I mean, like, this is a mess. I mean, she had a 3 of Swords. It impacted her feeling like valuable. It impacted, all she's had to do was to try to heal and heal and heal. That was the net result of her experience with them is, all they taught me is that things end, and they end brutally in silence, and then you just have to heal. That's what she learned from them. So that is her vision of them. If she were to look at them, her opinion is, I don't think her opinion is going to be good, but let's let her tell it. What is your opinion of them? 10 of Swords. No joke. She says, my opinion of them, they would stab me in the back again and again and again. This is over. I'll never let this person come toward me again. This is not someone to trust. This is I've focused not on the hurt that they caused me, but only on healing. I don't think about them. That's a closed chapter. She's done with them. Ooh. Tell me more. The Tower. It's over. It's over. And I freed myself from the thoughts of them. So she's better now. She's beyond this hurt. She's beyond this hurt. Does she... Hold on, I didn't get my question out yet. We got a 7 of Wands in the reverse. We just keep seeing a reiteration that she's not stuck on this anymore. She's not stuck on this anymore. So she's turned away from them. It's as if she physically has said, they disappeared. What I now know is that it meant nothing, and it's over. And I have simply turned my attention to genuinely healing. My life is good again, and I don't think of them anymore. Okay, so she's in a good place without them. What's going to happen? Well, hold on. I have to pause. That's not the right question to ask. In part one, what we saw is that they now want to race toward her. They have held on to memories of her. They have held on to pictures of her. Now they want to race toward her, but they are a little, I'm going to say tongue-tied here. Tell me about that tongue-tied energy. Hold on. We should change decks again. Tell me about, and I may not be right in saying it's them being tongue-tied. Empress. Yeah, they're tongue-tied. Now they've kind of like made her in their mind larger than life. Also, she's my Empress. She's everything. She's the person I want. She's the person I always wanted. She's the person I love. How do I'm scared to even approach her, but I want to race toward her now because, hey, I corrected all the problems that I had in my life. I'm free and single. I can come toward her. She's the person I love so much. And oh my gosh, I put her on this pedestal and I'm scared to approach. But also what I want to tell her is that you're my Empress. What I want to say is that the way you treat an Empress? And that's not to say just an Empress, but you don't treat anybody that way. You don't hurt people and then think, well, what do you mean? I only, like, I know I ghosted or abandoned, but I did it because I didn't want them to see like the mess that I had. That's why I did that. I'm going to say that's not a good enough answer. Simply the reason I will stand by that statement is because what it caused was a lot of hurt to that queen that they profess to love, that they say is their Empress, and it caused her to totally close out the cycle with them, and it caused her to only have to focus on healing because of the depth of hurt that was caused. So she doesn't have any memory of ever having built anything with them. All she remembers of them is they did something that made me have to heal myself at a very profound level because there was a profound wound. Meanwhile, they're like, I'm head over heels. There's nobody better than her. I want her, want her, want her. I'm all tongue-tied trying to come toward her because I don't know how to tell her how much I love her. I don't know how to present and offer my cup. They're not even, they want to race toward her, and they may even get very close to her and then be like, I can't. I mean, heck, they could be like practically driving down her street or about to like reach out and call her, only to realize, I don't know what to say. I have all this emotion. Now I can show her, see, I'm ready to be with you. See, you're my Empress. I can tell you all of this. I don't know how to get those words out. Tell me more about that. I almost feel like we need the universe to step in here. And the Lovers, the Nine of Wands. Yeah. So their big dilemma is, how do I tell her now I want this? I want us to be back together. I want to fight for this. I want us to be in a lover's connection again. I can see why they're struggling with that. How do you tell somebody that you ghosted, hi, I'm here, I want you, and I want you to want me, and I want all that love and that passion. I want all that now. I'm going to fight for that. Fight for that? What do you mean there's nothing to fight for? You bounced. Is it sinking in? Do they understand? Is that why they're tongue-tied? Oh, sinking in a big way. It's over. It's just now. This is wild. They really are. Look, I don't want to paint them as a terrible monster, okay? Because they're not. They're somebody who made an epically poor choice to say, oh, I met this person. I love them. I want them. They're my Empress. I don't want them to see me like this. I'm going to disappear from them, go handle what I need to, then come back. The problem with that is it's just now striking them that I lost her. It's over with her. She's gone. Oh my gosh, it's over. There's nothing for me to come back to. I left it. I don't know if they were trying to, treat her like she was someone they could put on layaway and then come back to later to, pay off the item. Or if this was a situation where it never dawned on them that you can't be like, that's mine, I'm going to earmark it for me, not tell that person, oh, you're earmarked for me, I'm getting you when I come back later. That you can't operate that way. That's not how human beings want to be treated. And it's like it didn't register for them until now that, oh my God, it's over. Okay, we have to do a part 3. The free link will be in the description box. Oh my gosh, it's getting so long. I'll see you guys in part 3. Bye for now.